Hello everyone, this is Robbie, back with Martial.D.Teach, and I've had a lot of requests recently to make a Martial.D.Teach video, which is exactly what I'm bringing to you guys today, going over some of the tips and tricks of the deck, different tech choices, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't, and let's dive right into it. So I'm going to start by giving you guys my current list. I've been perfecting the list for the last couple of weeks, and I have been changing it every week, so I do expect more changes to follow as well. And I'm going to give you guys some matchup guides and tips down the line with Blue Doffy, Monkey D. Luffy, and Shanks. I don't actually have any Shank cards on me at the moment, so I'll just have to pop up a graphic for those when it comes to it. But yeah, let's get into the list. We play a total of 9 searchers with 4 defeats, 3 events, and 2 stage. I generally play less searchers than most people because I play way more non-engine. I kind of split the deck between engine, non-engine. Engine being all your searchable pieces, non-engine being all your supportive cards to help you with the game plan. Luffy is just a really broken card. It's a pseudo blocker, and you'll see it with my non-engine choices later on to help support the Luffy as well. I find that like sometimes stage misses, but it doesn't. It hurts when I miss. But especially turn 1, if I'm going first, I play stage, discard and a miss, I'm down to like 3 cards in hand. That does really hurt. But to increase the overall power of the deck, I have decided to cut down on my engine pieces, which is why we're playing less searchers. And for my 2Ks, I've got 4 Stronger and 2 Shiryu. I try not to play out a Stronger unless I'm really desperate, but I find myself like discarding a lot of 2Ks from my leader effect all the time. I play some non-engine 2Ks, I will get to that later. And mandatory 4 Burgess. I find myself not really having time to play this out against a lot of decks, but maybe it's just my playstyle. I thought about cutting it down to 3. But in the matchups that you need it, it's really good. And your other mandatory slots of 4 Doku, 4 Van Augur, and 3 Black Hole with 4 Teaches. Black Hole is a card that I was playing at 2 for a while, but then I find it's less consistent against Blue Doffy, so I have bumped it back up. Well, that's all the engine. The thing with Blackbeard is that like I'm not picking it back up at every single search. The biggest tip I could give with this deck is that you're not racing to play your 10 drop. You want to develop a board, fill your board up with like Van Augers, Laboons, Jacks, Dokus, and stuff before. I don't really like using events as removal unless I absolutely have to, because I'm not gaining anything on board, so I'm not leaving behind a body, and it's just generally just makes me go neg 1 in the long run. If I have to use like 2 events back to back, it hurts a lot. Onto the non-engine, the mandatory 4 and 4. Nothing really to be said about these cards. Great if you hit off trigger. Sometimes great if you have to play it out. It's just good like in certain hands that's really bricky. And Laboon, you need it in certain matchups. Some matchups you want to see Van Augur, some you want to see Laboon. That's just kind of, you need to see your pieces against it. Sorry for that awkward cut. My dog just bled out there for a moment, but we'll get back into it. So, 3 Bartolomeo. You can see I'm not playing Vasco Shot, and I think Bartolomeo as a 2K is just generally more versatile. The only time that I find I'm missing Vasco Shot is when I'm like bricked and I need to play Laboon Finger Pistol on 10, and I can't play out a Vasco Shot, but generally that doesn't come up that often, and I think this card is actually really good with Mancherry. My recent addition is changing the Kaido to a 3rd Mancherry. I think the Mancherry is really good in the grind game. Sometimes when you hit 10 Dawn, the turn before, you can go like Lafitte, Mancherry, and people won't really swing into it just because they're expecting a 10 drop. But then because you leave Mancherry up, I can grab back stuff from Grave and try to clear the board. Also comes up if it's like, if I'm trying to clear the board every turn, and I have like Docu, I have a Laboon Docu on board, and then a Mancherry. If they like go for my Laboon, I can just clear whatever they play out again next turn with like Mancherry, grab back Laboon, and then Laboon Docu kill. And it works especially well if like obviously Jack's on field, and you can kill a 7 cost with the Laboon and Docu. My last tech choice for the deck is 2 Jacks. I've seen a lot of lists play either Mancherry or Jack, but I find that like I do actually have the room to play 2 Jacks if I top down my searchers a little bit. I think the overall power of the deck just gets increased with the amount of options you have. Typically I don't always want to take like life super early on, depending on what matchup I'm playing. But like into like matchups where I can clear the board every turn, like if my hand is good, I will just take life early, so I can, you know, maybe defend my board and just have way more options down the line. The thing I find with Teach is that you don't have as many options as Lucci, and the deck is way harder than Lucci to play, which is a little off-putting sometimes. But yeah, let's talk about some of the tech choices. Other 2Ks that you can play is Sasuke and Toy Soldier. Sasuke is another one of those pseudo blockers that they want to swing into, but I think this one is, because you have the rest of Dawn every turn, you don't really have to have time to play this out. Toy Soldier, I find that I was playing this in the list where I was playing Tempest Kick, which worked, but I never played out Toy Soldier, and you cannot play Mancherry with any of these. You can't really grab these back. Same thing with Vasco Shot. It's a searchable blocker that's really good, but compared to the versatility of Bartolomeo, I find that it's just not as good. I think some of the other ones I don't have on me at the moment. The VV blocker, I'll have it pop up on screen. The VV blocker trigger, play it, and the other one is the Shirahoshi 2K that I've seen some lists try. I think there was a Garp one as well that people were trying. The Garp one is interesting. I think it's a 2K, but I just but then you would have to play Vasco Shot in your list. I find that my list is actually really condensed at the moment, where I have one card that does like multiple jobs. And the last Kaido is the tech option. I was playing this a lot, and I really enjoyed like on 10 down being able to Kaido Tempest Kick, but I find that like I lose my hand a lot if I play like back-to-back Kaido, which you don't really want to be doing in this deck. Let's get into some of the matchups. Blue Doflamingo, probably one of your worst matchups, but definitely doable. I find that I want to go first against Duffy. I want to send Doflamingo going second, and my general curve is on 1 Dawn. I want to play a Searcher, ideally Luffy. On 3 Dawn, I want to play Docu, and obviously Van Augur on 5, and Jack on 7. This is the ideal curve against Duffy. You have the leader effect in Duffy every turn, and it's like really awkward going second against Duffy, where obviously I would leader effect Duffy if they play out like Perona or Buggy turn 1. The chances of them like getting a Jinbei off stack, if a single Jinbei resolves, you're done for. So which kind of hurts if I have to do that on my 2 Dawn turn. The big punish would be this 2-cost Teach, which I find to be very annoying. If they open like Teach into Jinbei Regal on 3 Dawn, I think the game is just over. But I think that's like kind of like a high roll you kind of gotta accept. The only time I would try to leader effect to prevent this is that if they play Sengoku turn 1 to search out like a Teach, obviously, then you would leader effect them down. The matchup gets a lot easier with the new event coming in OP10, which is I think, not exactly sure what the English translation, I think like it's Liberation that they've called it. It'll have a pop-up on screen. It's a 6 cost, essentially Blackbeard event. What turns do you not leader affect Doffy? If, for example, you have Doku, if your own board is Doku, Vanogger, and they're going into a turn where it's like they're going 9 down turn, where they really want to be grab leading this, I would tend not to leader affect them, because if they like, depending on what they counter and what I think their hand is, right? Because they want to be gravity blading this turn, and then they have no real time to play any Jinbei Weevil, and if they don't, they kind of just lose their board to like second Doku and then Jack next turn. So it's like a game state that you kind of have to just read by yourself. Graphblade and Red Rock is what really hurts me in this match. Red Rock not so much, because I'm not going to be playing out a lot of 10 drops. It's not the goal. The goal is to just fill your board with Van Augur and Doku. And then the thing to note about Van Augur is that Mancherry can actually bring Van Augur back. Against Doffy, what I usually ditch is like all my Burgesses. The 1 cost event I sometimes ditch on Stage. Steam Stage is nice, but it is the overall neg one, and you don't really want to do that against Doffy, and it's way worse if you do end up missing. But generally, you just play for board. My leader is usually swinging at them rather than at the board, if I could help it. Obviously, you have some last resorts like the Black Hole and the Shigan, which helps you clear the board. So like a lot of times I find that like I have it in Van Augur stick because they have a hard time removing it, and then like on their 7 on turn they might play out like 2 bodies if they hit their effect blind. I'll play like Doku plus like the Shigan or like a Black Hole. These are mainly in here just for the Doflamingo matchup, which it sucks, but you kind of just have to build your deck towards it. Next matchup is Pluffy. This is probably the deck I've gotten the most questions about outside of Shanks. And Pluffy is very linear. What they kind of want, you want to go first again and just play your curve, but it's very much like the Doflamingo matchup, but instead of Van Augur, you want to be playing out Laboon on this turn. Because on first I want to give this. I also don't want to take life early against Purple Luffy as a general rule of thumb. Because there's a turn where I do want to be taking life, but not really early. I find that like if I go first and I open like this curve, they'll be swinging at me a lot more. This does worse. It is a lot worse if they open a law, which could just trade into your Luffy and swing at you. But what can you do if they open it right? Going first, you want to be seeing Doku Laboon. This is like matchup is a bit hard just because your pieces are not exactly all searchable. You cannot search a Laboon. Van Augur is a lot less good because going second their curves going you play Sangoro, right? And next turn you leader affect them when they go to 7 to play out Luffy Taro. And thing to note here is that if I do not have this, I have to finger pistol away the thing they play on their 4-on ramping to 5. And I have this combo, let's say next turn. I will actually just not leader affect the Luffy if I cannot clear the Luffy Taro anyway. So if they're gonna play like Luffy Taro plus like Zoro or Sangoro, if I cannot clear Luffy Taro, but I can clear the small guys that comes out, why would I leader effect? It makes them go neg 1 hand advantage, is the main thing. What could be nippy going first against Pluffy is Magellan. If they play Magellan, they can Magellan you and put you back at dawn. But that's not really something to be too worried about, because on 1 dawn you play Luffy, 3 dawn Doku and search, and then if they Magellan you, you can still play out Laboon. However, you cannot kill Laboon because it is Magellan. Then in that case, I find that I actually want to develop a Burgess on this turn, or if I can, I want to go because obviously this Laffite's gonna die. I want to play another Laffite, plus I want to play this on 4, and it makes it really awkward. So Magellan has to trade into Laffite, leader has to trade into Laffite. That means I'm still quite healthy early game. And the high end that I'm more worried about against Playfeet is Linden. Linden can remove a Burgess and can remove a Libin, which is annoying. The secret Luffy is not as bad. You kind of just play it like if it gets rushed, like whatever. It's kind of like all the if you're playing against Shanks, all their 10 drop have rush anyway, and I find this like way easier to remove Playfeet. If I'm ahead, I will leader effect every turn, but when I'm behind, I kind of sometimes I'll leader effect them, sometimes I will not. It's just kind of how the matchup kind of crumbles. Where if I can take the hit, if I want to take the hit, I'll usually not leader effect. If I don't want to take the hit, I do. And the other thing to note is that you can, if you find that they stop playing big guys and they run out of Luffy Taro. So let's say they play like have 2 big guys in hand and they go Luffy Taro, and the next turn they suddenly stopped. They played out like a Sanji. I think like you can stop leader effecting them at that point, because there's no longer threats of them just filling up the board with their pieces. And lastly, Shanks. I don't have any of the Shanks cards on me, so I will have some graphics just pop up on the screen. Again, Shanks, I don't really mind first or second. Usually I want to stay reasonably healthy early. If they, depending on my hand, I'll try to counter out of like the 5 base swings they have early. Let's say Shanks goes second, which you really don't care first or second. Generally, I just like going first on the deck because it gets me a turn to play Laffite, and like I could find my pieces like Doku, Van Augur. Like this will kill the Lucky Root, and if they pop the Van Augur, it's fine. I get to draw 1. If I have to use an event, I don't get to draw 1 back. So again, like going first. Also, like if they just swing big at you, you can go Laffite to have to kill it. Right? Best case scenario, they open Uta to kill it. Swing 9 at me. Next turn, I'll still play Doku, and I'll probably play like so. Uta will clear the Laffite. Next turn, I'll swing at the Uta, or Doku kill the Uta. And I'll play Labun, so I'll have 1 extra Dawn on my 5 Dawn, so I can go 6 lead. Obviously Jack turn next turn, or if I don't have Jack and they don't play anything, I'll play Bahadur, or even better, my second Labun, and then I'll leader effect to protect my Labuns and just protect my board. So eventually when they come play a 10 drop, I can start popping away at stuff. Like what's really annoying for Shanks that I find is that like early game, if they don't play Uta and you just go like Searcher into Searcher into Searcher, they have no way to deal with that. Even late game, if you can put up a board that can contest and pop their stuff and just search, they can't really deal with it. If you get a head on board, Mancherry plus Bartolomeo will just block, because all their stuff is big. So like the mini blockers are annoying, especially if you're leader affecting them to preventing out Rayleigh. Going first also means your mandatory leader effect only once rather than twice. So Shanks will go from 6 Dawn, which you don't have an on-play that you care about, go to 8, which you do have an on-play you care about, and they go to 10. The only time you have to leader effect them is the turn they're going to 8 to prevent Rayleigh or Ben Beckman, because when they go to 10 they want to be playing 10 cost Shanks or a Roger. And if Shanks gets to go first, you have to leader effect them twice. One for the Ben Beckman turn, and another one for their 9 Dawn turn, which is their Rayleigh turn. I find that just ditching cards going first, I have more time to set up, and it's more annoying if I can go Searcher into Searcher as well. I also have an extra Dawn to put under my leader to swing at Shanks going first. Unlike if I go second, I'm kind of playing on an even Dawn curve, where I like 2 Dawn as Doku Laboon, right? And then like the next turn I have something to put under my leader. But it really just depends on the game state and just reading it. But like Lafittes and Manchurians are really powerful in this matchup. Same with like Blue Doffy, anything that acts as like a pseudo blocker. I've had games where people are not clearing my searchers and Manchuri, and I just completely steamrolled the game with like every turn. I will just look at it as like, even if I have to remove the board kinda inefficiently, I would just use all my searchers anyway, because sure, if I neg 1 from removing a guy, but I'm searching 4 cards, I'm still going super plus. And then like again, when they just swing face Manchuri, play Bartolomeo, next turn grab it back, and because you're clearing the board, they can never out the Manchuri, right? So, yep, that's the 3 main matchups for the deck that I've just gone over. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, do leave a comment. I'll be happy to answer some of them. If you have like another matchup specifically that you want to see, I can maybe look to voice over some games and just commentate over them and just give you my overall thoughts when I'm playing. Well, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe and all that, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!